Nice to meet you, my man. So what's this about?
This is in relation to some instances that happened on July the 8th. So this would have been a week ago. A little earlier in the day, around 16:40 hours, there were several instances that were happening throughout the city. And I was, I'm sorry, let me introduce myself. I work for the district attorney's office as an investigator. And my role basically in the process is to make sure we collect all the evidence, interview witnesses, verify any statements that were made, or kind of think of things that perhaps were not available at the time for the officer to get in order to.
I get it. You're like a glorified private investigator.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, okay.
I understand. Not a goddamn buffoon.
Sorry, I didn't mean. I'm not trying to insult your intelligence, sir. They had you listed as a potential witness at this particular at an event that occurred near the.
Who did, Mr. Lomax?
No, it's actually, but it does regard Mr. Lomax and also a gentleman by the name of Mr. Chris Adams. You had mentioned that you just met Mr. Lomax on the 8th in the text message you sent me. Have you ever met Mr. Adams before,
Something
Chris?
like that. I don't know, someday around there.
All right.
Chris Adams. Jog my memory. What does he look like?
I've not met Mr. Adams directly before, but I believe he is an African American male, about 5'11", 178 pounds.
I may have met him. I cannot remember.
All right. He would. One of the things you might. One of the things you might have heard about, perhaps, I don't know, did Mr. Lomax make any statements to you regarding that he was in fear of his life?
He did indeed, yes, many times.
I see. Do you mind if I record this, or just with my phone?
Oh, please feel free. Feel free, my
Hey, I
man.
appreciate it. Okay, so you said he was in fear of his life many times. Can you recall any statements that he made to you in relation to fear of his life?
You know, things like he pissed off the wrong people and now they're out to get him, sort of shit.
I see. Did you, at any time that you were with him, did he mention anything about he was being followed?
Not followed, but he did seem a bit paranoid. He said that the people who were trying to kill him would probably hire somebody to do it. In fact, for a time, he actually thought I was the person hired, just because, well, you see, I'm a taxi driver. And I approached him and asked if he wanted a taxi ride, so I don't know, maybe he found that a bit suspicious. Of course, I did not murder him, and he is still alive to this day.
Well, that's good to hear. So his, do you recall having contact with him a week ago, middle of the day, at any time?
Yes, I do.
Could you describe the nature of that contact?
Basically, me, Mr. Lomax, a guy named Riggs, and a guy named J-Dog. We took a ride in my taxi, went up to the dam, looked out over the city, reminisced, talked, chatted. One of the sad topics was of the suspicions that Mr. Lomax had about this attempt that might happen on his life. That's when I actually found out about it.
Okay. And did he offer up any details on people that he was concerned about, or organizations that he felt like he might have crossed?
I believe he may have mentioned, let me think for a second. Maybe he may have mentioned some Gambino or something, like a Jim Gambino. Can't quite remember. Something Gambino, I don't know. I don't know. Not a robot. Don't remember everything. I'm a human being.
Not a problem. Not a problem. So it was a so something along the lines with the Gambino. Okay. There was an incident that your name was listed as a person of interest or a subject that occurred on that same day, on the 8th of July. And this would have been at the corner of Adams Apple and Elgin Avenue, around the ammunition store there. You're familiar with that location, right?
Oh, yes, I am.
And I believe from talking with Trooper Parker, he indicated that he came in contact with several individuals at that particular scene, and
yes, I remember. I remember
okay.
now. Yes.
And could you tell me, was Bernie Lomax on that scene at all?
Bernie Lomax. Let me see. It was me, Little Squirt, Little Kai, and who else was there? J-Dog, I mean. No. Mr. Lomax was not there. No.
Okay. Excellent. The only other question I would have for you is, did you, earlier that day, on the 8th of July, there was an event around in this very area here in Pillbox, particularly around Lower Power Street, San Andreas Avenue, the parking lot area, where there was several reports of gunfire in the area. Were you around in this area at that time?
Wait, what day was this?
This would have been last week, the 8th of July.
No, I don't think I was around.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Bigglesbe. If you are called, happen to be called to testify to what we spoke about here in court in the future as it relates to this case, would we have your compliance to come in and do so?
Yeah, sure, sounds good, my man. You what's up with Lomax? Is he like all right and shit?
Yeah, he is currently, unfortunately, being detained pending arraignment up at Bolingbrook Prison regarding
holy
so
shit.
He's got himself in some hot water, but for my part, I'm trying to just find out what the facts are. He was involved with another individual. They are both sitting up there, and we're just trying to make sure that the facts are known so that the attorneys can do their work. My job's not guilt or innocence, just the truth.
I feel you. In a metaphorical sense, not literally.
Now, maybe you could give me a business card. I understand you're the owner-operator of a Saucy Cab Company.